I don't think Homeland Security can do it. But what they will do is they'll use the police state tactics that they did, for example, at the G20 meeting in Pittsburgh, where they called basically martial law, which is, of course, against the Constitution. But look at those photos of what happened. You had more police there dressed up with enough body armor to walk through the Battle of the Bulge unscathed, wielding their batons, beating up co-eds. So that's what we're concerned about, is that the government will then use the local police as their enforcers.
Well, they are federalizing them, and the videos were, they would selectively, anywhere in the city, you couldn't be out day or night, and video on YouTube of women coming out of a shop, old women with bags, and the officer screaming, pointing a billy club, and they start saying, well, okay, and then they let a police dog bite them, and then no one was resisting them, so they went to the university at night with the kids in the park, eating food and drinking beer, and said disperse, and it wasn't even a protest. And I had a cameraman arrested, and they took him to the pen. They were torturing the We Are Change people in the pen at the U.S. Army was. The U.S. Army called in terror reports on the InfoWars team and said that we tried to attack the Army base, and then the police came after them. I mean, it's just, and the police enjoyed it, Gerald. It's like a spirit of evil has come upon them or something.
Well, this is what happens in this kind of a climate of fear, and they're going to keep pumping it more and more. Unfortunately, again, there's the other side too. This could go many different ways, because the people are now starting to understand that their laws and justice. One of my colleagues came up with the word justice. We were talking about it. It's only the crackdown of the little people. And he said, yeah, just us. That's what justice is. Just us. It's only the little people that they rough up. Could you imagine? How about roughing up Rumsfeld? How about roughing up Cheney or Rove? How about roughing up Emanuel? Oh, no. They always get the sweet deal, like this other sociopath we have over here in New York, this Elliot Spitzer. Remember him, the former governor that used to bust Johns and pass the law to put Johns in jail, and then he gets caught with a hooker in Washington? And what do? They let him off. They let all the big guys off. It's just us. That's the only ones that they're after. And they're using the military powers, they're using the police enforcement to crack down on the little people to keep them in line, like they do in all third world countries. And America's gone from the most egalitarian nation on earth, and this is a fact, to the nation now of the developed nations where the gap between the rich and the poor is the widest in the U.S. of any of the major countries of the world. So that's why we have what we have. It's third world military behavior.
Because our public became third world and very submissive to authority and to tyranny, and we lost our spirit of 1776, but it's being rekindled. And in the last 14 years, I read Rand Corporation documents. I saw the preparations. I saw the third world type police force, and it's all premeditated. The bankers have the whole thing set up. It's totally criminal, and good Americans don't deserve this, but a lot of the slack-jawed, lazy yuppies do deserve what's going to happen to them. And the cops out there, they're going to take your pension fund too. So don't think you're immune from this. I know a lot of police are upset about what's happening. But at the top, you got about a bunch of rotten scum promoting all the other scum up and kicking the good people out of government. Let's take a quick call from Doug in Oregon. You're on the air with Gerald Celente. Quick question.
Well, I have a question, but I want to tell you real quickly, Alex. Out here in Cornelius, Oregon, I responded to your call, went to Brad Martin's Airsoft Outlet Northwest, told him when Alex calls, us Info Warriors respond, took him some Info Wars bumper stickers, and I'm buying a rifle to support him. So I wanted to thank you for
Let me throw that out to
out.
Gerald and then let you finish. Yeah, now the ATF says with no law, they're grabbing toy guns that shoot plastic BBs that are totally legal. They've now seized $50,000 worth. No indictment, no charge, no letter. They just say you're not getting your stuff, Mac.
That's right, Alex, and I told him millions of listeners around the world, and as I was there, they were receiving emails they got one from Spain, from Europe, phone calls. So a good job, and I hope everybody responds.
Well, let me get a quick comment from Gerald Celente on that. I mean, again...
The comment is that this really sparked... I mentioned about my story in Chile, and that how we got out was through the community of attackproof.com people, worldwide network. It's the same thing with the Infowar.network. It's the same thing, and this is the perfect story of it. This is why people have to act as a community of like-minded people. You know, how did Franklin say it? You know, we'll hang alone, or
we'll all hang together, or we'll surely hang separate.
That's exactly it.
Absolutely. Finish up your point, Doug.
Well, I had a question I wanted to ask Mr. Celente. Rental properties. I have a cruddy little rental house and a possible another rental. Is this the time to get rid of them, or should I keep them for an income source since there's no other jobs out there today?
And they're not a financial burden, I would keep them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're big in debt on them, I would get rid of them. I don't know about your particular area, but if you basically aren't deep in debt with these and they're making money for you, keep them, right, Gerald?
That's right.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Doug. We're going to come back and jam in a call or two from Tosha and Caleb, maybe a few others, with Gerald Celente. It went by so quick, and we really appreciate Gerald Celente joining us. Gerald, again, fire out how people can get your great Trends Journal.
It's trendsresearch.com. That's trendsresearch.com or trendsjournal.com.
Trendsjournal.com, ladies and gentlemen. Invaluable information. Trends Research Institute, forecasting worldwide since 1980. He's got a whole team working with him. Invaluable information. Go to the site and check out some of his predictions from decades ago that have come true. Final segment straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Stay with us.